Skateboarders A and B practice one difficult stunt until becoming injured while attempting the stunt. On each attempt, probability of being injured is P, independent of the outcomes of all previous attempts. Let Fxy represent the probability that skateboarders A and B make no more than X and Y attempts, where X and Y are positive integers, of course. It is given that F22 is equal to 0.0441, calculate F15. Now F22 is the probability that A makes no more than 2 attempts and B makes no more than 2 attempts. And since everything is same for A and B, so let's just focus on one of them. So let's say we focus on A, and at most A makes at most 2 attempts. Remember Fxy is that A makes at most X attempts. No more than X means at most X. So A makes at most 2 attempts is probability X less than or equal to 2. X were the attempts for A. Now less than or equal to 2 means 1 or 2 in this case, because you do make at least 1 attempt. So less than or equal to 2 will mean 1 or 2. So the probability of 1 or 2 will be probability X equals 1 plus probability X equals 2. Now making only 1 attempt means the person gets injured on the first attempt, because they keep making attempts until they get injured. So making only 1 attempt means getting injured on the first attempt, and that's it. And the probability of getting injured is P. So probability X is equal to 1 will be P. Okay, and now making 2 attempts, making exactly 2 attempts means not getting injured on the first attempt and getting injured on the second attempt. So because you keep making attempts till you get injured. So probability X equals 2 will be this one. So I've combined here probability X less than or equal to 2 is probability X equals 1. So maybe we should mention that here. So we can say here that, so probability X equals 1 would be just P. Getting injured on the first attempt, probability is P, and only 2 attempts means succeeding in the first, probability 1 minus P, and failing in the second. So we can add here that probability X equals 2. X equals 2 will be succeeding in the first attempt is 1 minus P, because failing is P means succeeding is the complement of failing, 1 minus P, and failing in the second attempt means multiplication, P. So 1 minus P is succeeding in the first attempt, and P is failing in the second attempt. So then when you add the 2, so X is less than or equal to 2 would be for the 1, X equals 1 plus probability X equals 2, probability X equals 1 is P, and probability X equals 2 is 1 minus P times P. So this simplifies into 2P minus P squared, and it would be exactly the same for the other skateboarder. So that's equal to probability Y is less than or equal to 2. Y was for the skateboarder B. And we are now given that F22 is 0.0441. So 0.0441 is F22 is probability X less than or equal to 2 and Y less than or equal to 2. That's what F22 means by definition. And X less than or equal to 2 would be 2P minus P square, and is multiplication, again 2P minus P square. So this is 2P minus P square whole square. And we're assuming that A and B these injuries or non-injuries are independent of each other. That's why this and turned into multiplication. And that's natural to assume that. There's no reason, there's nothing in the problem saying that they depend on each other. In general, one person's abilities should be independent of another person's abilities about anything. Okay, so 2p minus p square whole square is what we got here, and that's equal to 0.0441. When you take the square root on both sides, this becomes 2p minus p square, and the square root of 0.0441 is 0.21. So plus minus 0.21. And so it's equal to 0.21 or negative 0.21. So we get two equations out of that. You can take this one on the right side. So you get p squared minus 2p plus 0.21 is equal to 0, or p squared minus 2p minus 0.21 is equal to 0. So you get you apply quadratic formula on both these equations. So normally there'll be 4 answers to a problem like this, but here, since p is the probability of failure, and any probability is between 0 and 1, so actually only one of these 4 answers, this one, the 0.1118, that comes from 2 minus this square root over 2, that's the only one which is between 0 and 1. When you take the plus, it actually gets bigger than 1, and here also one of the answers is bigger than 1 and the other is negative. So both, all of those answers which are bigger than 1 or which are negative are out. This is the only one. So we got little p equals 0.1118. So now we have to find f of 1,5. So that means the probability that A makes at most 1 attempt, which means exactly 1 attempt, and B makes at most 5 attempts. So the 1 attempt is easy, but the at most 5 attempts is a bit tricky. So we have to realize that making at most 5 attempts means that you do get injured in at most 5 attempts, because you keep making attempts till you get injured. So getting injured in at most 5 attempts is the complement of being uninjured in the first 5 attempts, right? Getting injured in at most 5 attempts means you get injured at the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth attempts. And the complement of that is that you are not injured in any of the first 5 attempts. And that one is easy to calculate. So probability y less than equal to 5 is injured in at most 5 attempts is the complement of uninjured in the first 5 attempts. So 1 minus uninjured in the first 5 attempts. Now, uninjured in an attempt is 1 minus p, because p is the probability of being injured. So uninjured is 1 minus p in 1 attempt, and uninjured in 5 attempts would be 1 minus p to the 5. And so probability y less than equal to 5 would equal, after we substitute the value of p, it comes out to be 0.44529. And now we have everything that we need. We also mentioned briefly that probability x less than equal to 1 is the same as probability equal to 1, because 1 is the least number of attempts you make. And that means you fail in the first attempt. So that's p, that's 0.1118. So f of 1,5 is what we want. That's probability x less than equal to 1 and probability y less than equal to 1. So x less than equal to 1 is 0.1118. That's p. And y less than equal to 5. So probability x less than equal to 1 and y less than equal to 5. Less than equal to 1 is 0.11118. Less than equal to 5 we just calculated here, 0.44529. So that is 0.0495. That's choice C.